What would you do if your money suddenly stopped working? Not losing value slowly, but completely, utterly useless. No warnings, no backup plan, just worthless paper in your hands. This has already happened, and the people it happened to didn't see it coming either. Welcome to The Thinking Economist. Imagine waking up tomorrow and your money is worthless. Not losing value slowly, but completely useless overnight. You can't buy food. You can't pay rent. Your savings mean nothing. This isn't a hypothetical. It has happened to real countries with real people in living memory. And understanding how it unfolds tells you something critical about how economies actually work. The first thing that breaks down when money fails is trade itself. Think about what money actually does. It gives everyone a common language for exchanging value. When that language collapses, shops stop accepting the local currency because prices are changing so fast that whatever they charge in the morning is already wrong by afternoon. A loaf of bread might cost 10 units at sunrise and 100 by sunset. At that point, basic buying and selling, the most fundamental economic activity, becomes nearly impossible. When people sense this happening, their behavior shifts dramatically. Normally, people save money. They trust that what they earn today will still have value next month. But when that trust disappears, holding on to money becomes the worst thing you can do. Every hour you wait, your money buys less. So people rush to spend the moment they're paid, not on luxuries, on anything real. Rice, cooking oil, soap, medicine. Things that hold value when paper doesn't. Entire populations shift from saving to panic buying overnight, and the result is empty shelves and supply chains that can't keep up. When official money stops working, people don't just give up on trade, they find alternatives. Foreign currencies, particularly the US dollar, often step in as a replacement. Gold has historically served this role too. And in some cases, people revert to direct barter, trading goods straight for other goods, the way economies worked thousands of years ago. What this reveals is something important. Money is not special because a government prints it. It's special because people agree to trust it. The moment that agreement breaks down, something else fills the gap. Whatever people collectively decide holds value. The countries where this has happened most dramatically in recent history are Zimbabwe and Venezuela. In Zimbabwe, hyperinflation reached a point where prices were doubling every day. Workers demanded to be paid multiple times within a single workday, because money earned in the morning was worth meaningfully less by evening. The government kept printing larger and larger denominations, eventually issuing a $100 trillion note. It still wasn't enough. Venezuela experienced a similar collapse. At its worst, the bolivar lost so much value so fast that people weighed cash by the kilogram rather than counting it, because counting took too long and the numbers were meaningless anyway. In both countries, ordinary people who had done everything right, worked hard, saved money, planned for the future, found their financial lives wiped out in months. One of the cruelest aspects of hyperinflation is what it does to savings. If you spent years putting money aside for retirement, for your children's education, for a medical emergency, that money can evaporate, not because you made bad decisions, but because the currency itself collapsed. A lifetime of disciplined saving can become unable to buy a week's worth of groceries. This hits middle and lower income people hardest. The wealthy often have assets, property, gold, foreign bank accounts, that hold value even when currency doesn't. Those with nothing but savings in the local currency lose everything. Hyperinflation is, in that sense, one of the most powerful engines of inequality ever seen. So what holds all of this together under normal conditions? Trust. That's the answer. Money works because enough people believe it will keep working. An economy runs smoothly when everyone can price things, plan ahead, and exchange value without friction. When money becomes unreliable, every one of those functions breaks down simultaneously. Governments, central banks, and international institutions exist largely to protect this trust. When they fail at that job, through excessive money printing, poor fiscal policy, or political instability, the consequences reach into every corner of daily life. The story of what happens when money stops working is really a story about what money actually is. Not paper, not numbers, but a shared agreement. And like all agreements, it only holds as long as people believe in it. If this video made you think differently about money, the next step is understanding why money had value in the first place, and why that value was never guaranteed. Watch our video on why money has no real value until people trust it. It's the perfect companion to what you just learned, and it goes deeper into the psychology and history behind monetary trust. Please like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to share any feedback, questions, or topic suggestions in the comments section. We'll see you in the next one.